Hello, everybody. What a day. Thank you for your support. We are currently well over 1.1 million signatures. We are now at 1,135,550 signatures. And I would like to personally thank every one of those 1,135,550 people for putting their name to this petition, okay, to remove the CBE that has been awarded to Paula Vennells. Your support is amazing. I am so pleased. One of the worries I had about the initial petition submission is whether then people would be less inclined to share, but it is perfectly clear that the strength of public feeling keeps growing and we are well on track to 1.2 million signatures. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for taking part in such a worthy cause, because after all, it is the sub-postmasters and sub-postmistresses and their families who have been put through so much, who deserve the justice that they seek in the form that they seek it, and compensation based on the horrendous ordeal that they've been through. So thank you so much. If we jump back to the beginning of the day, so when I switched on breakfast this morning, it was a nice surprise that it had been pushed up the news agenda. It was the first item on breakfast. I didn't know whether the petition would actually get a mention, but it was a bit surreal for John Kay to mention it. It seemed like it was just getting into the BBC at that point, to say that actually they were receiving reports that a petition had reached over 1 million. So thank you for promoting the live feed last night. Thank you for the signatures. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all the things that you are doing. And it came about that ministers were meeting to discuss the Post Office Horizon scandal. Now, as far as I understand with this, there was a meeting based on Rishi Sunak's previous statement that was scheduled to happen next week. So the strength of public feeling that you are demonstrating through this petition, and showing that this issue won't go away, I would suggest is at least in part to play, if not completely, the reason why that has been moved earlier, because obviously Rishi Sunak has talked about the fact that the Justice Secretary, he mentioned on Sunday with Laura, the Justice Secretary was looking into how to resolve issues with outstanding convictions relating to the Post Office Horizon scandal, which is obviously another facet of things which needs clearing up. These convictions, which are widely accepted to be unsafe, need to be quashed. These people's criminal records need to be removed. That is just one aspect that I see to justice in this case from my point of view. The story has continued to develop throughout the day and is continuing to develop all the time. As you can see, new things are coming up. So it's reaching up to Scotland now. So Humza Yousaf has just commented saying that mass exonerations are worthy of consideration. I believe in an update on this. Apparently, I mean, I'm not a legal expert, there are some issues with mass exonerations. But the thing is, what people are saying here, it's not how you do it, it's how fast you now do it. I don't think I've heard anyone speak from any department, from the legal profession, from the government, from anywhere, which has suggested that these convictions are safe. So there needs to be a fast and swift process for these convictions to be quashed now. Absolutely. If we go back, the Post Office Minister, okay, wants the compensation sorted by August. I mean, August. Keir Starmer has said that at least the money was set aside and was due, according to him, if I remember the quote correctly, in December. Well, we're now in January. And now it's going to take to August. And my fear here is the fear that has been there previously. And it's why it's so important that you continue to sign and share the petition. Issues have been raised in the past. Promises have been made and then they've been broken. And that's why we are still here 24 years after Alan Bates first reported an issue with his Horizon system. That's outrageous. Okay, we should be sorting this out swiftly now. August is too late. They need this compensation now. Okay, Joe Hamilton. I mean, I've seen her speak on so many times now on the news, and I mean, it's just amazing how she continues doing what she's doing, despite everything that she's been through. And I thought the way her portrayal in the drama was absolutely fantastic. And I really hope, like I've said before, it's not for me to say what justice or what complete justice looks like for the sub postmasters and sub postmistresses. That is for them to decide. That is for them to decide. I have obviously ideas on things which seem unfair, the compensation not being adequate, obviously the honour for Paula Vennells, the convictions that are still in place, but ultimately it is for them to decide, and I am so happy that they are being given this platform to speak out to the public who are rightly outraged about this. Okay, interestingly here, based on the petition, I did have a look at this, so we'll never know how or why the Honours Committee reach a decision. So, as far as I understand, there are some reports that this has previously been referred to the Honours Committee, or there was a suggestion that it should be. Well, it has been referred to the Honours Committee now. I can confirm that. It was sent this morning with in excess of 1 million signatures. I haven't received a reply yet. I'm not sure how long this process usually takes. I'm not talking about the final decision process, but some kind of acknowledgement or acceptance, whether they're looking into it. But I think we can take from the statements of senior members of the government today that this is being looked at. Rishi Sunak spokesman has said that the PM would strongly support a committee looking at the case for removal of Paula Vennells' CBE. So the Prime Minister is on side. The strength of public feeling is clear from the petition, and we keep going. Because then, if there is any pushback on this, we can just keep on going back and saying, well, now it's 1.2 million, 1.4 million, 1.6 million. Show that the strength of public feeling is getting stronger by the day, and that the resolve is not weakening. So, in terms of the process of when a CBE can be revoked, I found this quite interesting. So, a CBE, so Commander of the Order of the British Empire, is handed out for achievement or service to the community or a highly distinguished, innovative contribution to his or her area of activity. Now, obviously, that's got to be positive. That's from the government's own website. And I think we can say in this case that this criteria is not met. So it can be revoked. It says the decision lies with the reigning British monarch. So ultimately, the decision will be made by King Charles III through the process that we're going through at the moment, which is through his government. Now, it does have an addition there that even if this criteria above, so achievement or service to the community or a highly distinguished innovative contribution to his or her area of activity, even if this is met, it does say awards can be rescinded when it's believed a person has brought the honours system into disrepute. Well, you only have to look at the experience of what these poor people have gone through. I mean, if somebody retaining an honour, having had oversight of an organisation at a point that has been called, or during the process of something which has been called the greatest miscarriage of justice in this country, then if this doesn't bring the honours system into disrepute, I don't know what would. So it feels like that criteria is met as well. Okay, and that is why we have proceeded to submit it to the Honours Forfeiture Committee and Sir Chris Wormwold. So I will keep you up to date on any response I have from him. Very interestingly, Ed Davey has been in the news recently. I mean, it was published about him refusing to meet Alan Bates, although he has subsequently come out. Refusing to meet him in 2010, but he has subsequently come out. He's made a statement saying that he actually did then meet him in 2010. Obviously, the letter that he initially sent has been widely publicised of the refusal. But Ed Davey is now saying that the CBE should have never been given at all. And this is someone who's speaking from a position of knowledge. He was Postal Affairs Minister from 2010 to 2012 in the coalition government. And what he said here, I think, is quite damning. I wish I'd known then what we all know now. He says, repeating claims that Post Office lied on an industrial scale to me and other ministers. Well, you can't do that. You can't lie to ministers. You cannot lie to Parliament. If you lie to Parliament, and I'm not necessarily saying that's what's happened here, but clearly Ed Davey is saying that he has been lied to, and if somebody lies to Parliament, you are in contempt of Parliament, aren't you? If you've been called there and you're under oath, and lying to a minister, I literally can't believe this happened. I mean, he goes on to say the Post Office lied to victims, to the judges, to the public, to me, and to other postal ministers for over 20 years. That is a damning allegation. 20 years. This is a conspiracy, he says, by the Post Office to deceive people. Well, it is this conspiracy, then, that we have to squash once and for all. He has also weighed in on the debate over the former Post Office chief Paula Vennells CBE, which was awarded in the same year she stepped down from the role amid anger over the Horizon scandal. It shouldn't have been given in the first place, he says. Well, that's the position of so many of the people who've contacted me about the petition, and thank you again for all your letters again. I have been reading every single one of them. I apologise that I can't reply individually to absolutely everybody. But he's urging the Honours Committee to meet to make a decision to review it. And I think this is promising now. Members of the government, members of Parliament are actually calling on the Honours Committee to consider this position. They need to meet. So that pressure is growing, and that's thanks to you. So let's keep the momentum with this. The Post Office, as previously said, it shares the aims of the public inquiry to get to the truth of what went wrong in the past and establish accountability. Great. But that does not preclude this honour being removed now. Absolutely not. And as I've said before, there are multiple aspects to justice in this case. The inquiry is one strand, which will hopefully, as the Post Office said, establish accountability. But also, the fact that this honour remains at the moment and clearly isn't being handed back needs to be resolved. In the time we've been talking, so we had 1,135,550. We've now got 1,138,385. So another 3,000 signatures just in the short time of this update on the petition. So thank you once again. Keep sharing, keep signing. Let's keep the momentum, keep the pressure up so that the people who have the power to fix this do not back down from doing the right thing. Thank you, everyone. Bye.